Kia ora, I'm Celestial Serpent from Live on Love. We're here at Live on Love during Bush School, and today we're going to revisit our sin-tropic swales. We're going to learn about pepinos, and we're going to get into permaculture as usual. So if you find these videos interesting and educational, make sure to subscribe, hit that notify button, and tune in for more good Live on Love videos. Cheers!
The life force that connects all souls. I am we, and we are all one life form. I am the darkness from where all light's born. I am the source, the center of all being. I am the one watching, yet that which I am seeing.
Now the pepino is also known as Solanum Muricatum, and our good friend John Palmer, he very heroically rescued them. They were getting run over, so what he did is he took them here so we can cut them up into clones and we can add them into our sin-tropic system, keep adding mass and nutrients. Alright, let's get into it.
And what happens is, when you make a cutting, you always make it so that the leaves are at the top and no leaves at the bottom. So when you put that in the soil, it makes roots rather than leaves. How's that? Now see that? That's not a very long cutting, but we might make a cutting out of that. And we cut off all the buds and flowers. See that? Create half leaves. How's that? Now see these pretty little flowers here? These pretty little flowers are in the family that looks like, what is that family?
Jasmine?
Not quite.
Oh, eggplant.
Eggplant family. And what do they call that family?
Nightshade.
The nightshade family, or Solanaceae.
Solanaceae.
And what are the other plants in that family that we love and eat a lot of?
Pumpkins are fruit.
Not pumpkins, but potatoes are in that family. Potatoes, chilies, capsicum, tomatoes, gooseberries or golden berries, and there's a few others, isn't there? A few other chilies and capsicum, and they're in that family. And you know what happened, don't you? That somebody took, I think the Spanish took potatoes to Europe, and then Irish people got potatoes. And they lived on potatoes and just about nothing else. And then all the potatoes got a blight, and they didn't provide any food, and 2 million Irish people died. Or was it only 1 million?
Diversity.
They didn't have diversity, but here at Live on Love, there's diversity. Yeah. It's going to be moist. See how it's getting a bit dry down here? It's getting dry. You can tell that things get dry because leaves start dying and falling off, and leaves start curling up, and they shrivel and they wilt. And that means, but look at this guava, it's hanging on. Guava's a tough plant. Now we've got to remember, at every plant we're planting a cutting. And that means that every plant we water. And we water that, but we also water the cutting. How's that sound? I'll put that in. See that little hole there? Now see how you slide a cutting in a long way. If you've got a cutting, you want to get it in such a way that most of it's under the ground in moist soil. And then the nodes form roots, and then it grows.
Can it be with any plant? Or
a lot of plants grow well from cuttings. So look at this here, that's cassava. We're not going to put it in cassava because you've got to dig up the roots of cassava, so we'll put it in trees.
Higher, light up the fire, Messiah, refining the guide that I side with reminder. Heaven is inside you, we are all made.
Pepino is a really good ground cover. It doesn't tend to grow vertically, it just kind of covers that ground surface, which is great in permaculture because it keeps that moisture down. It lowers the evaporation rate. It's like a protection barrier between the topsoil and the sun, keeping a bit of insulation in there. So it's good to have that incorporated into our swale. We're going to incorporate them in a way where they can grow down from the edges, because that way the insects, the slugs and all that, they're less likely to have a go at them. And in terms of the stratus of our garden, we've incorporated the ground cover, which is going to help to keep that soil moist, like we were saying. And then the next layer up, we've actually got all our little peas and whatnot, all our leguminous varieties that are going to put that nitrogen back in. And then it goes up as much as pawpaw, the heights of the pawpaw, which is about our limit on this particular contour, because we want to make sure to share the photons around, or the photosynthesis with the plants. We don't want to block the lower tiers, and we don't want to block the view. We want a nice breezy garden flow that we can go through and collect our food. Easy harvest.
Listen like a gold mine, be prison and you'll find you there in no time. Known for the dope rhyme, celestial serpent. Life is
So in it goes, in that hole. And you put a dipping stick in because you don't want to damage the stem as you put it in. That's it, and press it down.
Every day, first thing I give thanks for all that I have, all that I am. Rich man without money, but I'm rich in many other ways. Summer day, chilling out, 12-month holidays. Not afraid, not intimidated.
Got 25% airspace. Fluffed up soil, aerobic soil. 25% water. 45% soil particles, sand, silt and clay. And some organic matter is always present on top to cover the ground, minimize evaporation.
Summer day, chilling out, 12-month holidays. Not afraid, not intimidated by the darkness. Live in paradise, knowing home is where the heart lives. Rise and shine.
Now pepinos are really tasty. They're all green when they're small, but as they grow they get these yellowy whitey colour with purple streaks down them when they're about ready to eat. Now behind me you'll see we've got some bamboo here acting as a trellis, and we've got leguminous varieties that are growing up there, putting nitrogen into the soil through the nodes. And we're also rather curious if this bamboo is going to take, whether it's going to actually start growing. It's been dried out a little bit, but if you guys have any ideas and any comments, you chuck them down there. And also we were contemplating, and I've heard many concepts of using chop and drop bamboo, camphor laurel, things like that, which we often think about as pest varieties, can be used for chop and drop. So if you have any comments, please chuck them down there. We're here to learn. And if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, notify, like, share, get it out there. And also if you really want to help us out, we got our Patreon account and we're taking donations to further these videos and keep putting them out there for you. Cool, catch you next time.
Rise and shine. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Yeah. Inside my mind, it's a beautiful day.
We create magic as we speak. Abracadabra!
And I'll pray to the sun's rays, rising I'll raise the bar, the vibrations. Lately you're making me shift my thoughts and the way that I'm thinking. This is the next age we're facing, the next generation, the nation of Australia creation. And made I take this blessing I've been given as a gift. Respect, no shit, spit live, most of the freestyle flows I've composed. It's the first time that I spoke ad-lib from the chest. The hardest expression is art, yeah, I don't start shit, but I'll finish it. It's hard to separate yourself from the rest. A side of me is just the heart of another galaxy that's far away. And let me say this, fuck your fame, cause it's a fallacy. Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful day. Inside my mind, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. What a truly beautiful day.
Oh yeah, we're rising. We rose up with the sunrise, shining so bright it nearly blinds your eyes. And I systematically stepped up to a high level of style so I can take the prize. And my mind's taking me forward in this life. And it's time for a personal insight. I don't know why, but we gotta just vibe and get live and wild on a musical ride. Living our dreams, got your lights on high beams, bringing it up to a height that's unseen. Like a palace of gold in the horizon, getting ahead in my life, and we're decided to get to levels beyond what you've seen. Lifting the vibe with the crowd to wild screams. Living our dreams, got your lights on high beam, bringing it up to a height that's unseen.